He is the former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, former TNA X Division Champion, TNA Tag Team Champion. The accolades for this man are crazy. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And I'd like to bring Homicide into the show. Homicide, how you doing tonight, man?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me for your show.
Hey, thank you so much for being on. I've been trying to get you on the show for over a year now, and thanks so much for finally saying yes. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. It's just kind of funny that I'm watching the wrestler for the first time and talking to you, and I'm saying to myself, why the hell I'm watching this crappy? I need to change the channel right now. It's just kind of funny that, you know, I'm flicking the channels and I'm watching Mickey Rourke, the wrestler, and, you know, it's just amazing to me because I never watched the movie. I heard so many stories about the movie, and I'm just not a big fan of the movie.
Yeah, man, I've heard a lot of people had mixed reactions about it. As a fan, when I first watched it, I didn't mind it. You know, I enjoyed that they had a movie about professional wrestling and stuff like that, but wrestlers have a different take on it. Can you, since you're talking about it, can you tell us why you don't like the movie?
Well, first of all, it's almost like 95% true story. You know, Mickey Rourke's character. I see a lot of people who just like him, you know, who wrestle Madison Square Garden and basically party and did drugs and, you know, have the rock and roll life and lost everything. Lost the family, money, fame, and just going to little independent shows and watching these gentlemen with pee bags and doing autograph section. It is sad, you know, and showing a part that Mickey Rourke's character is talking to a drug dealer about getting some steroids or you need some Oxycontin or some trees, I call it weed. You know, to me it's like, man, like, I don't like it. It make us look very bad. I know my little sister was watching the movie, and she was just telling me, this is what you're going through? This is you and your friends in the business? And I'm laughing my ass off because it's like, it's not really like that. Like, I don't go to, like, independent shows and ask for, like, hey, man, do you got some Debo? Because I need to get bigger. Nah, screw that, you know. Like, I'm not an angel, but I'm also I'm not a devil, too. But I'm not a big fan of this movie at all because it just shows a lot of secrets out there, and it's telling people the wrong story. Like, we look like a bunch of drug addicts, and we're not. So just giving the wrong example. Like, I don't know who directed the movie. I mean, it's a good movie, I guess so, but other than that, I just don't like it. You know, just giving us a bad example and a bad name for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely understand your perspective on that because I've heard Stone Cold Steve Austin talk about it pretty much the same light. He hated it. Sean Waltman, X-Pac, he also hated it. I heard them talk about it one time. And, yeah, pretty much the same reasons that you just stated. Mm-hmm. But Ring of Honor actually was featured in that movie towards the end. And I don't know if you got that far, but they played a pretty big part. And you have just recently made your return to Ring of Honor. And you've been kind of in and out of there for the last couple of years and whatnot, man. How's it feel to be back in ROH?
Well, I feel great, man. It's home. I mean, my home is Jersey All Pro. That's my home fed. But my other home is Ring of Honor. And I remember when I came back 2 years ago when I left TNA, I came back with 2 good injuries and a crab rib, and I feel that was the worst return I ever had in my wrestling career because I was going through neck and injuries. I didn't tell nobody because I was very hard-headed because this is what I wanted. I was in TNA and, you know, like, I didn't like the way it was going with myself and also with the LEX. So to me, it's like if I leave, that means I got freedom. I can do whatever, what I want to be a team player, and I'm going to go home. So I went back to Ring of Honor, New York City. I might have the most greatest pop of all time in New York City. I felt like Hulk Hogan in 1986, and I'm thankful for the fans. But like I said, man, I just came back very, very fast with nagging injuries. It took me 2 years to heal up a cracked rib and two good injuries. Now that I return again, I feel like this is my real return. I'm perfect. I'm healed. I'm ready to go, man. I'm like a speed demon. Like, whoever comes up, whoever's my opponent, I just feel bad for themselves because it's like the old school Homicide. I'm not saying that I'm going to take out the fork out and do some Abdullah the Butcher on Steve Corino or anybody. I just feel that this is a new era. I got a new character. Everything is new, and I'm loving it right now. I just had a match with the American Wolves. I think they all, are the legends, and I feel like it's David Richards and Eddie Edwards' last match. I really don't know, but it's just kind of funny that I wear a tie because they want me to wear a suit and a tie and kiss ass. So I just told David Richards, here's my tie, because you're going to need it in New York in the future, just in case. But I'm just happy where I'm at right now, man. It's a blessing in disguise that I came back with Nirvana, and I'm tearing it up right now.
Yeah, man, you sound good. You sound like you're having fun. On a personal note, a couple of years ago at Ring of Honor, when you made one of your returns, you came back and you confronted Roderick Strong when he won the championship from Tyler Black. And that night, I was actually there. I was working with the Wrestling Roundtable back then. And I actually interviewed you backstage that night. And it was a really great moment for me, just totally awesome. It was only my second interview ever in professional wrestling. So it was really cool talking to you then. And I'm glad to have you back on the show now. So I was just watching the other day your the original Ring of Honor MVP 2003 DVD they did of you and the Best of Homicide. And there were some classic matches on there against Samoa Joe, the aforementioned match with Steve Corino, and a crazy match with Trent Acid. What are your memories of some of those matches from 2003?
Oh, man, when me and Trent Acid, it just feel like I'm a big baseball guy. I love the New York Yankees, and Trent, he loved the Philadelphia Phillies. And it felt like Philly versus New York, and we had that war. And he's like one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time, next to people like Jerry Lynn, Manny Fernandez. And he's like my brother, man. I missed him so much because we had classic wars, and we also party afterwards. And I had great feuds with Trent Acid, and I'm so happy that I was part of his life and part of a feud making with himself. Same thing with Samoa Joe. I remember the first time me and Samoa Joe met each other. It was like a little club in the Holiday Inn. He wrestled a Loki. It was a very intense battle. Joe had like a broken finger, and I'm just teasing him that you need to stop smacking people because that's what he loves. And I remember the first time I ever wrestled him, it was in Ring of Honor. I forgot what year, but it was in May. It was Do or Die event. And he gave me the muscle buster all the way to the top rope, and he defeated me. That's how I knew that I'm going to be his pain in the butt because I'm going to go after him and give him the 100%, and that's what I did. I'm the one who gave him that fire, that Samoa Joe needs to be a killer, and I'm the one who give it to him. Because it was almost like a receipt. All right, you defeated me our first time. Now I'm going to make your life a living hell in Ring of Honor. And we had some classic feuds, man, when it comes to, like, all the way to 2003, all the way to, like, TNA days. The same thing with Hulk Hogan, with Steve Corino. That's the one thing I'm proud of myself in Ring of Honor. Maybe I'm not a champion. Yes, I was the world champion for I had the belt for, like, 3 or 4 months. But the one thing, if you come to Ring of Honor and you want to feud, well, you're going to get a guy named Homicide who's like 5'8" or 200 pounds. The guy's little, but I'm like Joe Pesci. I don't play around. So when there's a feud, you talk to me because I'm going to make you famous. I'm almost like The Undertaker and Ring of Honor and also Jersey All-Pro. But that's the one thing about myself. I love feuds, you know, and I had so much of a great feud with Trent Acid, Samoa Joe, Steve Corino, Hulk Hogan, even Bryan Dennison, even CM Punk, who never beat me in Ring of Honor, but I bet he could beat me in the bank account. But that's another story. But I had some classic matches with these guys.
Yeah, man, and I was just thinking about that feud with Hulk Hogan because that was one of the feuds that really got me hooked on the Homicide character back in 2006 because you guys just did some brutal stuff to each other, just blood, and I believe you poured Drano down his throat at one point.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Like that was one thing that I got to apologize again for that, man, because that was real. everybody think it was a bunch of Kool-Aid or some Jello shots. Nah, man. Like, if you see the tapes again, he's the one who brought the fire out of me. Like, he wants me to come out as a killer, and that's the worst mistakes you could do. And he called out my son. You know, my son's name is Nelson, and he called him out. I don't know why, but I told him, I don't know how many months I'm going to have a feud with you, but I'm telling you right now, just like Samoa Joe, I'm going to drive you like, oh, my God, like, he's going to be the one that's going to apologize. Not only apologize to pray to God that he never, ever want to wrestle me again, because I want to make sure that I want to hurt him. And basically, me and Julius Smokes, that's what we did. We put drain on him. We tried to cut his tongue. We had a Chicago street fight in Chicago that I got busted open because I did a chair riot. If you're a wrestler, you never call out a chair riot because you need a third eye in the back of your head, because I got popped, and it was really my fault. But me and Cole, man, we had a great feud too, man. But there was one of those things like, Cole, you did a big mistake. Now I really got to hurt you. And right now he's one of the greatest guys in the wrestling business. I could call him himself my friend. If he needs anybody, I'm right there. I got his back. You know, he's another one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time, and he should be on TV right now. It could be in TNA, it could be in Ring of Honor, but definitely in the WWE. He should be next to CM Punk and also Ace Steel. But you know how politics roll. But when Cabana, he's the man.
Yeah, no question about it. And that feud it was one of those deals where you're the hated heel, but it kind of turned you babyface over time, like organically and naturally from what I remember. And that led to your big match with Bryan Danielson and that whole thing with CZW and whatnot before that. But that match with Danielson,
yes,
the final battle in 2006, there was so much steam heading into that match, and it was such a fantastic moment for you to become ROH World Champion and stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about how that moment felt?
Well, first, I want to be in the class with those guys, you know. Like, it's kind of hard for me to be part of the class like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Austin Aries, and those guys, because I'm just a thug from Brooklyn, New York, who wear T-shirts and shorts. I look like a basketball player, you know, and sometimes I cannot bring out my technical style. I just got to brawl. So that day means a lot to me when I wrestled Bryan Danielson, who was at that time, he's the best of the world, not CM Punk. Bryan Danielson was the best of the world, and he was one of the best technician wrestlers. He still is. And to me, defeating him in my hometown, that would be like my WrestleMania, my Super Bowl, my World Series. And I remember for 6 months, all I want to do is beat this man. That I even told the book at the time, if I don't get a title shot, if I don't get nothing, I'm leaving. And they had like great plans for myself and invest a lot of money on me, but the one thing that I was getting upset that I was not getting that respect with Bryan Danielson on American Dread at the time, because he looked at me like I'm just a thug from the streets, like a Brooklyn brawler, while he's from Seattle and eat vegetables and work out like 5 in the morning. Myself, I like to smoke, I like to drink, I like to hear music like salsa or hip-hop or sometimes metal. Bryan is different. Bryan feels that I'm not the face of Ring of Honor. Now, remember what I say that, because I think he's going through the same thing in the WWE. So he understands what I'm talking about, that at that time, when I was going to Final Battle, he felt that I was not the face of Ring of Honor. So what he wants to do is cripple me, stretch me out. And he didn't. He fell because I'm one of the toughest guys who survived. I survived from the streets. I got shot in the leg, and I still wrestle. To me, my heart is bigger than Andre the Giant, rest his soul. But that day, when I beat him and I felt the magic, it felt like I was a Master Skull gun, where all my peoples, even the people that hated me, I still loved it, because it was something like, wow, not only I beat the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, who is the face of the WWE right now, but I was also the face of Ring of Honor at that time. Of course, some Japanese fat guy came to Ring of Honor and beat me for the belt, so I need a new direction, you know. But that was one of my greatest moments in my career. You know, I wrestled Liger, I wrestled Terry Funk, who's my hero. That must be one of my top 3 favorite moments of my wrestling career, is defeating Bryan Danielson for that Ring of Honor world title.
No, absolutely. Awesome moment. I remember like it was yesterday. My buddy Red Titus was in the ring celebrating with you. That was pretty cool. I got a fan question from Jamal Reynolds. He wants to know if you felt cheated having to drop the ROH World title so soon to Takeshi Morishima, especially considering how many ROH World title reigns would last so much longer than that.
Well, I feel like I want to become the world champion. I'm not saying that I should have been the one who broke Samoa Joe records, because he had a phenomenal record for 2 years of counting. And I think Bryan Danielson was the second longest reign. I think I was like maybe the third person who had it the shortest. Did I feel cheated? If you think about it, it got to take a 300-pound wrestler to defeat me. Not only that, he did his finisher on me. It's called the Saito Suplex. He hit me one time, and I kicked out. He got to hit me 2 times to beat me. So when I lost, I was thinking about that. Did I feel cheated that I had the belt for goddamn 3 months? Nah, I didn't feel cheated, because this man who flew over 1,000 miles away, who's from a great organization called NOAH, who's like 350 pounds, who's like 6'2", got to defeat a guy who's only 5'8", who's like about 190 pounds, and got to take 2 moves to beat me. To me, that meant a lot. Not only that, I broke his nose. So you went to Japan with a bruise, and he told all his boys that some little guy named Homicide, he's the one who did this to me. Yeah, he won the belt, but of course I won the war that day.
I love it. Absolutely. Great. I remember that happening as well. And I was kind of upset because I was a big fan of yours, big supporter back then. Still am. But I'm going to bring in my co-host, Toph. Toph's got some questions for you tonight. Toph, go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Homicide, how you doing tonight, sir?
Hi, my brother.
Yeah, I got some questions for you. Your finisher, the Gringo Killer, that's one of the thickest moves I've ever seen. I remember the very first time I saw you use it, it was like, is he dead? It just looks crazy looking.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that finisher? And more importantly, like, was there anyone willing to take the bump for you? Or, take the bump from the move?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know what year, but I think it was like 1998. Me and Loki, we was watching Japanese matches, and I want them to study some matches, and we saw this woman, I'm not mistaken, her name is Megumi Toyota, and she did this move for the first time I've seen it. It looks very devastated, so I wanted to go to Japan Ask Permissions. At the time, I was with Big Japan Pro Wrestling, and I asked the green light. And I needed a name. I wanted to shout her out, call it the Megumi Driver. But for some reason, a couple of my boys like Loki and everybody was telling me, nah, call it Top Killer. And I'm like, why? I'm going to call something that cops going to see me very different. I already got a problem with the name Homicide. Now I'm going to call it the Cop Killer. So after I say, screw it, I'm going to call it Cop Killer. If Ice-T made millions of dollars doing that body count Cop Killer, I could do it too. So I was doing it. At that time, I was reckless. I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of hurt a lot of people with the move. That I got smart enough. I learned how to do the move, protect the person, and I did. And I remember I went to TNA, and Mike Tenay was the commentator. And I remember I did the move for the first time. Their eyes just popped open, like, oh, my God, I've never seen that. I mean, I saw the Canadian Destroyer, but I never seen this move. But we can't call it the Cop Killer, so we got to call it something else. So when I did it in TNA, I heard Mike Tenay say, oh, Cop Killer, but he just changed the name to the Gringo Killer. In my mind, I like to joke around. I love my white people, but why in the hell you got to call it Gringo Killer? Meaning, that means I kill white people. Like, no. Like, why? But It's part of the character to give me away. You couldn't call it, but I think it was the funniest thing ever. Not only that, I kind of popped the Mike Janae helped me with the name. I wish it was a different name, like Toe Tag or something stupid like Toe 45. I don't know. But Gringo Killer, I'm like, and to this day, people still call me and message me, hey, are you going to do the Gringo Killer tonight? And I'm like, huh? Well, he said, oh, yeah, that's right, yeah, I'm going to do it. Sure. So I did kind of hurt a couple of people, and I apologize, but I'm not apologizing to the ones that I don't like who deserve it, you know, but other people, like Peter Williams, he's the last person I did on television, and I did hurt him, and I apologize to him, and hopefully he accepted it, you know, and other than that, do I like the move? I don't even like it no more. I like something simple right now, like a sleeper hoe, or maybe I get a glove, like a plastic glove, and it suffocates you, or I don't know, something. You know, people still want to see it, you know, and sometimes I give it to them, but sometimes I don't.
Okay. The second question I have for you was, since you were mentioned the TNA run, I thought the LAX stuff with you, Hernandez, and Conan was great. I mean, it was just gold. The stuff that you guys did was just amazing, you know, tag team heat. But I've always was curious as a fan, was there, like, any particular barriers you guys weren't allowed to pass? Like, was there ever, like, a creative meeting where you or Conan or Hernandez wanted to do, like, a particular thing, and the creative was like, no, you can't do that, it's too edgy or too racy? Was there anything particular that they didn't want you guys to do?
No, I never heard nothing. Conan was the one. He was the leader. I was following him. He's the one that got me the job. When Conan said, I remember one time that we had Billy Williams. He was trying to the American flag, and I'm very surprised they never stopped that. And I was saying to myself, you're going to get killed, you know, because that's the one thing. I love America, but, you know, they want to go to the extreme, and I'm very surprised they never stopped us. Since day one, they never came up to us and told us, hey, you're going too far. You cannot be saying that. You can't do that. For myself, yes, because I'm not going to lie. I like to curse a lot, potty mouth, you know, because sometimes I get so intense in the match, it just come out. So what I do is say in Spanish, but Hector Guerrero knows Spanish, told the office, and I needed to calm down. But other than that, nobody came to us and told us, you went too far, you need to stop it. And I'm very surprised about that, because we did a couple of stuff that went too far.
Okay. You mentioned Hector de Guerrero earlier. Chavo Guerrero is currently part of the Impact Wrestling roster. Do you agree with how Impact Wrestling has been using Chavo? Do you think he could be used better? When I first heard Chavo was coming in, I thought he was going to be a heel and, you know, not necessarily, you know, reform the magic of, you know, what you, Conan, and Hernandez did. But, you know, I certainly thought that he was going to be like an X-Division heel, but so far he's just sort of been, you know, just sort of there. They teamed with Hernandez, and then they're a good team, of course, but, you know, nowhere near as good as the team that you and Hernandez did. Do you have any opinions on how they're currently using Chavo, or are you familiar with the work that he's been doing lately?
Well, I really don't watch TNA like I used to, so I really don't. And then it tells me stories about it. I think Chavo Guerrero should have been like the next Eddie Guerrero, or he become one of the biggest heels in professional wrestling, beat the crap out of Hernandez, telling me the fake Mexican. He got a Texas flag that he likes to come out, rip the Texas flag, and here I come to save the day and beat the crap out of Chavo Guerrero, give him the Three Amigos, and give him the Frog Splash, and make him even more pissed off that you got to come after me. And maybe we can have the LEX versus his own version of the Mexican America. But, you know, that's not going to happen. I wish it did, because I know now it's going to be money. I got faith that that will be money, and a lot of people want to see a war. I know when I came at TNA and I did a promo with Chavo Guerrero, I thought that it's going to be something, but I didn't get a phone call back. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is.
Yes, I remember that segment. I thought it was going to lead to something. I thought it was going to lead to, like, you know, Hernandez choosing between you or Chavo, and I was hoping that was going to lead to you eventually getting a contract back, and it was going to lead somewhere, but unfortunately it didn't.
It's supposed to happen, but I think somebody just give us the closed door. What was supposed to happen was Chavo was supposed to betray his own partner, and I'd come back and it'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you? You need to go back to your own roots. You need the LEX colors, and Supermax become this monster that he was with LEX back then. But, like, somebody put a stop to it. I really don't know. So, politics.
These are my last questions. Thank you for answering these questions, by the way. The last question I had for you was, do you have an opinion of Sin Cara, who's currently part of the WWE roster? You know, he's a big name in Mexico, but ever since he's come to the, WWE roster, he hasn't really been able to recreate the same magic. Do you have any opinions on Sin Cara?
Yeah, I really don't get it. I really don't know if that's the original or I don't know, man, because this man, I've seen him work in Mexico. He is unbelievable. He's supposed to be the next Rey Mysterio Jr. That's supposed to be a match, actually, last year at WrestleMania, Sin Cara versus Rey Mysterio Jr. But I'm guessing that Sin Cara, he's not used to the American style because he's still on the Mexican style, the Lucha Libre style. So, to me, I'm very confused about that because Sin Cara, he's a great Lucha Libre guy. Like, he's awesome, but I don't know. Like, he came to America, and I don't know, he got the worst luck. Like, this guy could have been the next Rey Mysterio Jr. I don't know what's going to happen. I really hope that he does good into the American style and see Rey Mysterio versus Sin Cara, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
All right, thank you for the questions. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Homicide. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Great job, Toph. Homicide, man, you mentioned something about politics in TNA, and I kind of noticed immediately when Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff kind of walked into that company, and obviously I'm on the outside looking in, and I'm just reading what these dirt sheet reporters write and stuff, but if you're actually watching the show, you can kind of tell that something's going on where they're changing stuff around. How was it working with Hulk Hogan when he came into TNA?
Well, man, I think it was awesome. Like, I really don't know what's the true story about. I don't know if he's the man, the guy with the paper and the pen. I don't know if he's I don't know. But the one thing I could say, man, working with Hulk Hogan, it's awesome. I grew up watching Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is the Babe Ruth of professional wrestling. I was watching some kind of a DVD yesterday, the NWO, I think the WWE product, and he said a line that he got a microphone and told the fans, if it was not for Hulk Hogan, none of you would be here. It's kind of right. Because back then, we had some great wrestlers like Harley Race, Terry Funk, Dusty Rhodes, but this guy, he put out the map with the sports entertainment. It was global. And working with Hulk Hogan, it was awesome. I mean, he wanted his own vision. This is the way I want. Take out that six-sided ring. We need people who's like over 6'2" and with a six-pack or something like that. I don't know. But the one thing that I do know, and he don't have to tell me, he don't like my look. That plain and simple. Yeah. He could say like, "Oh, brother, I like your look." He did say that, and I'm like, "Brother, you lying, but it's okay. You Hulk Hogan, you know what I mean?" But after that stupid cage match on live TV, that kind of destroyed my TNA days. When that happened, I was saying to myself, "It's all over for me." And that's when the pride took over. I don't give a damn about nothing. And I remember one show, I think it was in August in Brooklyn, New York. I wrestled at the time Brian Kendrick, Amazing Red, Sanjay Dutt, and I did my suicide dive. And basically, Brian Kendrick didn't caught me, or I didn't hit him. And that's when I had the two groin injuries. That's when these guys were saying, "Okay, Homicide's hurt. We really don't need him." And I remember I wrestled Orlando Jordan at Explosion, and I told him, "Please take care of me, like I'm hurt." And he keeps saying I'm a shooter and this and that. That's awesome. God bless you. Like, okay, that's awesome. You're a shooter. And he did a couple of stuff that it was a couple of times that kind of I got hurt, and I got a bandana. There's also is a weapon, and it's wet. And I smacked him with it. And Dixie Carter was there. And right there, I said to myself, I'm going to get fired in 2 weeks. And boom, Terry Taylor called me. He told me, "I'm sorry, we got to let you go." And I took it like okay. And he was like, are you kidding me? I said, yeah, I just want to know why. And he told me the reason. And then, you know, it is what it is. I just got to, like, move along, move forward. I'm not going to sit down and cry. I had the best years in TNA since 2005 and made what I am right now. You could call it a name, you could call it whatever, but I had the best times in TNA also. So I can't really bash him. I cannot say, good for y'all, they are losing or they're going to close down. Because that's the one thing. They're not going to close down. They're just going through growing pains right now. And I hope they do good. But they need a lot of changes. You know, a lot of wrestling fans, they're not liking the product. I don't know why, because I don't watch it. But I do notice the problems, and I got a lot of friends who's with TNA, and they tell me there's a lot of problems, but we're going to fix it. And I believe it. They're going to be okay.
I think so, too. I think it's just a matter. I like the growing pains analogy. A lot of people have a lot of doom and gloom over what's going to happen with TNA, but I think growing pains is a good way to look at it. I saw you, actually, recently. I was at that FWE show out in Brooklyn, and I saw you, like, sneaking through the back door that night, and you were just chilling with your boys and stuff. I didn't want to bother you because you just looked like you were chilling, having a good time. But I saw you bumped into Jeff Jarrett, man, and you guys kind of embraced and stuff like that, and that was pretty cool. You know, that's the kind of stuff you notice as a mark at these shows. But how's your relationship with Jeff?
Because I'm bugged out for myself.
How's your relationship with Jeff Jarrett? How was that over the years?
I mean, like we cool. I mean, we see each other. Hey, how you doing? Like when I was sitting there, I did drink with him. He told me a couple of advices. You know, I hear so much goddamn rumors about he's racist and this and this and that. To me, he's a goddamn genius. That's the one thing I can say about Jeff Jarrett. I'm not kissing his ass. I'm not trying to get my job back or not because I'm with Ring of Honor right now. But that's the one thing about Jeff Jarrett. He is one of the smartest men in the wrestling business. I really don't know what's going on closed doors, and I don't care. You know, but that's the one thing. I do got respect for Jeff Jarrett. He could be down with the Ku Klux Klan. I don't give a damn. He's still a genius, whatever he does, you know. So, I was kind of, like, happy because that was the first time that me and him saw eye to eye in 2 years. And when I saw him, I really did thought that, oh, man, he's with Cornet boys and this and that because them boys were Cornet. But he looked in my eyes, and I said a funny joke. Hey, you better hug your favorite Puerto Rican. He actually hugged me. Hey, what's up? I'll see you real soon. And he walked away with Karen Angle. So it was kind of cool, you know, because I really thought that there was some kind of a vendetta, some kind of a, you know, a nasty taste, but it wasn't, you know. He looked at me, I don't know, if because he was in my hometown, he was scared, I don't know, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah, he seemed to have a good attitude that night. I shook his hand and said hello to him and stuff. He just seemed like he was happy to be around wrestling fans and be in that arena, you know. It seemed pretty cool to me. I'm going to bring in one of my boys. He's from Brooklyn as well, and his name's John, JCD DiMaselli. John, man, what's going on, brother? You got some questions for Homicide tonight.
Hey, what's up, dude? Hey, Homicide, how's it going?
What's up,
man?
Hey,
I hopped on when you guys were talking about the Impact thing with that cage match. That's what I wanted to really ask you about, but I heard you get into it, and then everything else that happened with TNA after. So, but have you guys touched on the Ring of Honor run right now?
Yeah. Like right now, like I'm every time I go to Ring of Honor, I just talk to the bosses, everything. I just want to go slow day by day. Right now, we got a big match December 14th. I'm concentrating on that because, you know, I just want to prove to people that, you know, I still got guys in my tech. A lot of people think that, you know, I'm old. I don't know where the hell that can come from because I'm still young. But I just want to prove it to people. When it comes to TNA, you know, to me, like me and Hernandez, we spoke about it. I talked to a couple of guys still. Are you going to go back to TNA? I really don't see it. Right now, I just want to go to the new era of Ring of Honor and, you know, make a name for myself with the new guys. At the past, I was one of the forefathers that made Ring of Honor, and that was back then. Now it's new, and there's a new crowd. And right now I got a new gig. It's called the Outlaws Incorporated. We almost like the movie, like The Purge, mixed with the Joker. I just want to see how that's going to go by in a couple of months. Right now we on fire. So Ring of Honor is where I'm at right now, and I just, best of luck with the guys at TNA, man. Like, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Do I want to go back to TNA? Not now, but you never know in the future.
Yeah, nice. One other quick question. Did you guys know that Davey was going to cut that promo after the match this past weekend? No. Or, because Davey put you guys over pretty good.
That really surprised me. I actually went to the back, and I heard Eddie Kingston calling me, and I went to the front, and he cut that promo. I do know that the WWE are looking at them, and he was wearing my tie in the end of the match when he was shaking hands with the Corner Honor. He wanted to give my tie back, and I told him, no, you keep it. You're gonna need this when you go to the WWE, because that's a corporation. It's a different ball game, it's a different league in the WWE. So good luck, pal. And I went all the way to the back, and I heard my name, and I was very surprised that they cut that promo. I was very I got respect for Davey. He's a good kid, man. He's got a bright future, and I hope he makes it to WWE. The same thing with Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards, I'm a big fan of Eddie Edwards. I think he's one of the toughest guys that I saw in the ring. First time I saw Eddie Edwards, man, I forgot what show, but it was Ring of Honor in New York City. It was the ladders, the tables. It was Genetico and Kevin Steen versus the Wolves. And Eddie had a broken arm. And this guy, he finished the match with a broken arm. And I would say, that guy, I like him. I like stuff like that, and they deserve to go to the WWE. I don't know what's going to happen, if they're going to change their characters, but I think it was kind of cool that Rich got a microphone and basically put us over, because I was very surprised about that.
Yeah, that was awesome. I read that, so, no, cool. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right, Homicide, man. This is a question I ask every single wrestler I have on the show, and it's about road stories. Like, I love a good road story. I love good ribs. Those stories are just classic. You got any of those for us tonight? Any good road stories to share?
Man, I got, the one that's real infamous that everybody talks about that I cannot, leave because I was super, super drunk. I think it's on YouTube. It was the day I was in L.A. It was my first time in Los Angeles. I think it was PWG. And I remember I was with Samoa Joe, the Havana Pitbulls, Chris Hero, and B-Boy. And Samoa Joe invited me to this place to give us great barbecue food. And he gave me some of those Cali Best. You know what I'm talking about? The Cypress Hills. I don't want to say it too loud.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so I did my little Snoop Dogg, and I got twisted. I'm like, oh, my God. I ate 20 wings, 2 milkshakes, 2 hamburgers. The Joe was like, you calm down. You're eating too much. And I'm like, I can't take this. So, about 4 hours, I did not went to the bathroom or nothing. I wrestled, it was me and B-Boy versus, at the time, Chris Hero. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know his partner at the time. They got to be Claudio, the King of the Wrestling. This is before King of Wrestling. And I love to run a lot. That's the one thing about myself. I got great cardio. For some reason, my stomach felt like a volcano. And I went to the bathroom and I threw up. So Joe came up to me, don't worry about it. We're going to party tonight. And you're going to drink a tequila bottle. And that tequila is my weakness. Like, you ever saw the Gremlins? After 12, you cannot feed them. You cannot put water on them. Well, after 12, when you give it tequila, I'm like a goddamn gremlin. I'm a crazy demon. So I was with Nazawa at the time, the Japanese wrestler, and CM Punk. And I remember it was B-Boy's car. We were supposed to get some tacos, and B-Boy was wasted. So who else who's straight edge and wanted to drive? It was CM Punk. But the problem was the car was stick. He could not drive stick. So he was driving about 5 miles to Samoa Joe's house. I'm talking about he was carrying B-Boy's car, the muffler, everything. We go to Samoa Joe's house. We keep drinking. Nazawa's like, here, drink. And I'm like, what is it? Tequila. Well, first time, okay. Now, mind you, it's 12 o'clock. So I drink the tequila. And he's like, no, you got to eat the worm.
Eat the worms. Stop being a pussy, you Puerto Ricans, because Mexicans are hard drinkers and Puerto Ricans. So I'm like, I'm doing this for my country. I ate the worm. Worst mistake ever. It felt like acid and like about a case of tequila bottles. So it's about nap time, 4 o'clock in the morning. All of us are drunk. The Havana Pimples, like Rocky Romero had had keys, and he threw it. It's Samoa Joe, and he took the keys, and he fell asleep. So I fell asleep next to CM Punk. All I know, I gotta use the bathroom. So I got up, I took my pants off like a baby, and I went to the pee on CM Punk. I told him, "You're a fake ass redhead. You gonna drink my urine?" Punk just like, "Yo, D," but they call me D. "Yo, D, what are you doing? Go to the bathroom, piss." But no, take this urine. I feel like R. Kelly before R. Kelly did all that. So he took me like a little baby with my hips, with my diggling hanging, took me to the bathroom, Samoa Joe's bathroom. He went back to sleep. All I know, I wet the whole goddamn bathroom, the walls, the seats, everything. Joe about to throw up like he was Ultimate Warrior. Papa Shango like put a spell on him. So he goes to the bathroom, and I hear like he busts his ass, like he's throwing everything. He comes out like, "Fuck, Punk, turn up the fucking sink, man. I got all this wetness all over my body." It wasn't no water. It was urine. I just fell asleep, and I woke up, and Punk was like, "You remember last night?" I remember. He taped it. And he told me about it. I'm like, "That's not me, man. That's Rocky Romero doing that." So basically, that's like the stupid, they put a prank on me. I heard it on YouTube and Rob Feinstein. It was terrible, man, because I don't remember. And that was the last time that I drink tequila. When I tell people, don't give me tequila, it's gonna be bad. They give me tequila, and they're gonna see something bad afterward. They're gonna be like, "I should give me tequila." But that's like one of those road stories that is gonna haunt me till I die.
Oh, dude, that was classic. I was trying to hold back the laughter. That was so funny. Oh, I was cracking up hard over here.
Yeah, I actually see a pump with that on YouTube, man. He even talked like me, so it's like a kind of embarrassment, man, but it's good.
Yeah, man, it was hilarious. That's great, man. Those are the kind of stories I love to hear. I've gotten some good ones. That might be the best one that we've heard so far. So, all right, let's get into Final Battle, man. Final Battle 2013, and actually it is the biggest show of the year for Ring of Honor every single year. And you've got a chance to get some ROH gold again under your belt with the ROH Tag Team Championships against Red Dragon. I really don't know why they spell Red Dragon with lowercase R-E, then a capital D, and then Dragon after that in lowercase. It's kind of weird stuff. I don't know why they do that. But it's a big match. And Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly are good. They're at the top of their game right now, man. Let's hear what you got to say about this big Tag Team Championship match.
Well, the last time I won the world title, it was 2006 in December in New York City, Final Battle. Years forward, I'm doing this as a tag team wrestling. Now, it's me and Eddie Kingston versus not only guys who's the future of pro wrestling, but these guys are pretty badass. They call themselves role models, but I know them. They're like legit, we call it hookers, like Adam, both of them are straight shooters, It's like you go to a bar, you want to fight them, they're going to kick your ass. But that day, they're not going to kick nobody's ass. I'm going to go out there with a vengeance. That years ago, I had a party in New York City in 2006, and it's going to happen again. But this time, I'm going to have Eddie Kingston with me, and we're going to have a bigger party that day. That's basically the new era for the Outlaws when it comes to New Year. So Final Battle is like our WrestleMania. It's the last show of the year, and also a big match with us and Red Dragon. So I cannot wait to wrestle those two snowflakes, because it's going to be not only a fight, it's going to be a war, because I'm going out there and basically I'm going to do what I want. So me as a referee, we're going to have a lot of problems because I'm not going to respect the rules. Maybe Eddie is, because I'm trying to behave myself and do good for the company for Nigel McGuinness. But for some reason, I don't know if you heard about this, they took my mask. Now, they want to be they want to be like these gangsters or whatever you want to call it. They want to make fun of me. Like, they did like a little promo that's kind of cute. That you see both of them dressed like gangsters, saggy pants. To me, they look like two little boys that belongs in prison who get raped. And that's what's going to happen at Ring of Honor, because they're going to get raped that day. I'm not talking about sexual rape. I'm talking about I'm going to punch them right in the face before they get knocked out. So I cannot wait for that day. And I think people should come December 14th in New York City and buy a ticket, because you are going to see the greatest wrestling show of all time.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much, Homicide. That was a great way to sum it up and end the interview. Thanks so much for being on tonight, man. I really appreciate it, and we'd love to have you back on sometime in the future and recap what's been going on in your career then.
Oh, thank you for having me. I had a blast, brother. You know, I hope I see you again.
Absolutely, man. I'll always bother you on Facebook, brother. That's what I do.
No, brother. You know me, I'm always here. I think I'm the only wrestler that talks to my fans or anybody, because a lot of people be telling me, why are you the only one? I don't know, because, you know, it's me. I don't know.
Yeah, man, you're cool as hell, and that's not just kissing your ass, bro. I've talked to, like, a bunch of wrestlers, because I've been doing this Pro Wrestling Powerhouse thing for about 18 months, and I've interviewed a bunch of guys and stuff, and like I said before, I'm friends with Red Titus, and he thinks you're fucking awesome, too. So thanks so much for being on the show, bro. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, man.